All right, back on the Young Turks. Now we're going to talk to one of our favorite guests, Bob Borsaj. He's the co-director of Campaign for America's Future. He's written an article called Obama's September Choice, Charge or Trim. It's a very fair question, especially in regards to health care reform. Bob, welcome back to the Young Turks.
My pleasure. How are you?
I'm great, except for the fact that Obama's hosed us. Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. First, David Brooks, as you write in your article here, has some helpful advice for the president. Now, he's a conservative columnist for the New York Times, and he says that Obama should not go boldly forward, but should, scale back his ambitions, and he should commit himself to, quote, fiscal restraint, individual choice, and decentralized authority. Bob, what could be wrong with that? Here's a Republican and conservative trying to help Obama.
Right, no doubt. Boy, this is a hand with a poisoned chalice in it. Fiscal restraint at this point is cut spending and watch the economy sink. And individual choice and decentralization is a code word for don't do the re-regulation we need in finance to get the financial industry under control. If Obama goes down that course, we really are sunk.
Before we get to health care reform, let's talk about banking for a second, right? Because Obama did what I think is an unbelievable mistake. But the thing is, Bob, here's what I'm concerned about, that it's not a mistake. They meant to do this. That he gave away the House, he gave them billions of dollars with no strings attached. And he said, oh, we'll come back and try to do regulation later. I mean, if you cared to do it right, isn't that an incredibly foolish path?
Well, I certainly opposed it from the beginning. I think they made the wrong choice. I do think that you're going to see the president come back and attempt to do kind of serious capital controls and requirements on banks, et cetera. But the problem is, after you've given them billions of dollars and they're starting to pay themselves $1 million bonuses again, they're also paying congressmen lots of contributions. So this is going to get harder, not easier.
Yeah, no, but look, that's what I'm talking about. Even if you think Obama's going to come up with the greatest regulations in the world and he's going to introduce it soon, which I'll believe it when I see it, okay, but assuming he does, why would you choose to go down that road? Why didn't you insist on those regulations when you were giving out the money?
I think I don't know the answer to that. I don't think there's a good explanation other than they were in the midst of a financial collapse and were terrified by it and decided they had to go with the banks. What they say is that rather than take over the banks, reorganize them, which a bunch of us were urging, that they thought that was too big a risk to financial collapse, that these banks were so big, Citibank, Bank of America, and others, that if you actually tried to take them over, no one really knew how to do that, and that if you didn't get it right, the whole thing would sink. And so,
No, but I'm not talking about taking over. I'm talking about, look, if you're going to get the money, here are the new rules.
Yeah, now, I agree. I don't disagree with that at all.
Now, here's my concern, Bob.
And the people who drove us off the cliff should have been fired. You want the money, get rid of just like they did with the head of General Motors. And it's amazing the difference between how they treated the CEO of General Motors and how they treated the CEO of Bank of America.
Well, that's exactly it, though. That's what I'm worried about, that it's not a coincidence. Look, that there is some chance that they just thought they didn't have enough time to come up with smart and sensible regulations, and that they thought they could come back to it, and they would lose a little leverage, but that they'd be all right. That's the best-case scenario. And that's a wrong way to play it, but at least, they're on the level. The other possibility is they didn't really want to regulate them because they get paid by them. I mean, if banking wasn't enough to do it, you look at health care reform, the public option is favored by an overwhelming majority of the American population, even though no one has defended it in the media or television, certainly not the White House, and very few Democrats, Dean and Weiner, just about does it, right? Despite this enormous barrage against the public option and almost no defense, still we have huge majorities saying they want the public option, and we have huge majorities in the Congress, and Obama says, I'm not going to do it. There seems to be only one possible explanation. He never wanted to do it in the first place.
Well, I'm not prepared to say he doesn't want to do it yet. We've seen lots of different rumors going around. We've heard this thing about the trigger with Olympia Snow. We've heard aides saying this and that. Let's see what the president says on Wednesday. I don't think you can get a bill out of the House without a strong public option plan. So
Bob, I will tell you exactly.
He's very pressed on this, and if the progressives stay true, he's not going to be able to come out of the House without a public option. And we've got, I think, 51 votes in the Senate for a public option. It's going to be tough to roll all that.
We're talking to Robert Borsai. She's the co-director of Campaign for America's Future. Bob, hear me now. Quote me later. Okay, here's how it goes. They get a strong public option or some sort of public option through the House. They vote for it. They feel good about themselves. They pat themselves on the back. In the Senate, they go with the trigger because that's what Rahm Emanuel has always wanted. He planted it with Olympia Snowe. That's the option they'll go with. And then when they go to merge the two, they'll say, oh, what could we do? We couldn't get it through the Senate, so we included this nonsense trigger. And then they'll go back to the congressman, the Progressive Caucus, and say, what are you going to do? Are you going to defeat the most important piece of legislation for your president? And today I saw Mark Ambinder in the Atlantic referencing the race card, saying, he's the first African-American president. Progressive Caucus, are you going to vote against his most important piece of legislation? They're going to get them to back down, and then they're going to have the nonsense trigger, and that's what they're going to pass.
Well, I think that's the scenario that probably much of the White House staff thinks is going to happen, and much of the city certainly thinks is going to happen. But there's some problems with it. One is Olympia Snowe has said publicly that she's not supporting any plan alone as a Republican. At this point, she's the only one out there that's talking about negotiating. Now, maybe she changes her position, but you don't buy much by abandoning a public option.
No, but that's the thing, though. That's why.
If progressives stay strong, here's the choice the president faces, which is you say to Democrats on the vote on cloture against the Republican filibuster, I expect all of you to vote against it. To vote to overcome the filibuster, and that is a litmus test of party loyalty, whether we can govern. You can vote against the plan if you don't like it because it has a public option in it. We still can assemble 51 votes in the Senate on that, and we have a strong majority in the House. And so the alternative is we're not certain you can get through the House if you don't have a strong plan.
Now, Bob, I agree 100%, disagree 0% with that plan. That's exactly the right plan. That's what I've been talking about for months now, okay? But the fact that they're not going to go to that plan is what scares the bejesus out of me, because it scares me not just about this, it scares me about the next 4 years, because I don't think they really want to do this thing, okay? I don't think they have their heart into change. Because what do you need one senator, Olympia Snowe, on the other side for? Why would you jeopardize all the progressives for one senator? It's because you're using her. It's not about her. It's not about her one vote. It's so you can say, oh, well, I had to get Olympia Snowe. That's why I threw away the public option. Because they wanted to throw it away in the first place.
Well, that could be, but I tell you, the stakes are very high for this president. You know, if he looks weak coming out of this, if he gets rolled, first of all, he will really demoralize his base. But secondly, the interests, you know, which he's taking on energy, he's taking on financial reform, he's taking on, hopefully, on trade, they're going to go wild.
Yeah, he's going to lose all of those battles.
This guy can be rolled. And you know, Rahm Emanuel already has a reputation as somebody who will accept any deal to get the deal. If that becomes Obama's reputation, he's in big trouble.
Well, we'll leave it right there. Bob Borsai from Campaign for America's Future. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Take care.
Young Turks.
Why are you so paranoid?